Just as an opener, can you just explain a bit, please, what that meant for you and Canon as a business?
Well, I joined Canon Medical Systems in September of 2019, and in my first month there, kind of like baptism of fire. They were still rolling out. They were just on the journey to roll out Office 365, and that's the first project that I took on, and I immediately wanted that done pre-Christmas because I saw the value in collaborating using MS Teams and the whole Office 365 suite. So we were kind of lucky because although we didn't finish the project in December, we ended up having it all deployed to our users by end of February. And come March, we had the big pandemic and we were in lockdown. So I was kind of lucky that was able to get my people to work remotely using MS Teams and Office 365, and majority of our staff were already on the road because 40% of the staff are salespeople, and about 60% of them are engineers and admin staff and so forth. So predominantly my end user base is working remotely on the road, and I needed to enable working from anywhere. Yeah. And because the pandemic hit, the flex work was introduced and we were in lockdown, so people had to take their laptops home. I remember taking my chair home too, right? So, and people were taking screens and keyboards, and the office was bare. So the problem I had was I only had 22 connections, VPN connections to enable my staff at any one point in time.
Right.
So those VPN connections were delivered from our Cisco ASA, which was sitting in the data center.
Okay.
And the strategy that I put together for Canon Medical is a cloud-only strategy. So we don't have any servers or anything but the network switch and the NTU and the router in the office. We don't have anything else in terms of servers, applications. They're all hosted in the cloud. It's a cloud-only strategy. I sort of was wondering how do I enable 250 users to connect back into the data center, go through the Cisco Firewall with only 22 VPN connections. So that was the real challenge for me. That's the background of where I got to with the pandemic.
So, yeah, no, thanks. And I think there's a lot of talk around the old world and the new world. There's the new phrase that's coming through. Can you just probably explain a bit about what the new world looks like for Canon, if you have a new world?
Yeah, so the new world for us is flex work, and majority of our staff members are working from home. We normally would have around about, probably in the vicinity of 30 to 35 people in the head office, but that's now, on a rotation basis. It's probably, I find 10 or 15 people in the office,
right,
and the rest of them are working from home, on the road, at a client site, maybe in Starbucks, in a cafe, who knows,
yeah,
right? But I need to make sure that they're securely connecting to the network, and the user experience that they're getting is seamless. So with that 222 VPN problem that I had, I called up Stuart, just before we were about to go into lockdown. I said, mate, how do I get out of this problem? I need to get on to, getting rid of this 22 VPN connections, and I need to enable 250 staff to be able to connect remotely.
Yeah, okay. So
that's when Stuart sort of introduced me to Prisma Access, which all coupled with, what SASE is all about.
Yeah.
And we set about conducting a POC.
Yeah.
And the really important thing with the POC was that I had all types of users in the POC. The POC was going to happen for 4 weeks.
Right.
So we started March, probably ended up towards the end of March. And I had management staff, I had my sales staff, I had service engineers, I had my IT staff. So we had a cross-sectional of about 20 people from all cross-functional areas of business, where we remotely installed silently the Global Protect, which enables the Prisma access into the Prisma nodes that you saw before on the slides. And we kind of just enabled it overnight.
Yeah, right.
And the feedback that I got from the staff, especially the management, was this is brilliant. We're getting, very good throughput. User experience is seamless. And I said, on top of that, we are also connecting securely, ensuring that we don't have any, ensuring that cybersecurity is in our sites, and it's all secured.
Okay.
So then,
and just on that point, did you have any sort of key business objectives that you needed to achieve?
The key business objectives were user experience and also security. And productivity and efficiency came from those two things. So it's basically around ensuring that the staff can work from anywhere, anytime securely, ensuring that they get the user experience, and ensuring they're productive and efficient rather than worrying about, fiddling with wires and trying to connect to the Wi-Fi and trying to get access to the drives or any of the SaaS applications that we have online in the cloud.
Right, okay. So you rolled the POC out for 4 weeks?
So we rolled the POC out, and we have two key applications that we use. We use D365 in the cloud, so finance and operations, and we use Salesforce. And those are the two mainstream applications that everyone uses in the organization. Okay. So we rolled out the POC, and the management was tick. Let's roll this out to the whole company. And I just sort of called up enablers and said, let's roll. And overnight, people went home on a Friday, came back on a Monday morning, and I had Global Protect all deployed out to 250 laptops. And I was able to then enable my staff to connect from anywhere, anytime, in a very easy and seamless manner. Because the Global Protect client that Prisma Access offers runs in the background. So there's no need to, when you're out of the office, connect to the VPN, ensure that you map the drives, and when you're out of the client side or out of the back in the office, disconnect the VPN, make sure that you've got the wire plugged in, and or you're in on the wireless in the office. So there's none of that, because it's just very seamless, and it just runs in the background in your system tray, and it's just ensuring that it's connecting to the cloud securely with a lot of bandwidth and performance.
So from an IT perspective, rolling that out was simple.
Yeah, it was simple because you can silently just deploy that by group policy, or we use Kaseya, so we wrote actually a PowerShell script that runs that logon and just deploys out the Global Protect. And on top of that, we also deploy out certificates. So the Global Protect client, and this is getting a bit technical, but the Global Protect client can't be installed on any other device because you need those certificates that are being deployed from our certificate server to be able to connect to our Prisma securely.
So obviously now you've rolled it out to the whole business. Can you just give people a bit of a view of the top benefits you'd say you're now receiving from the whole Prisma?
It's not that I don't have to worry about security. Obviously, security and cybersecurity is in top of mind for any head of IT or ANZ or any technology manager. And yes, I do report on security, but I don't have a lot of staff to be able to do that. I don't have a security officer.
Yeah.
You know, Enablers is my strategic partner, and you saw a slide before that sort of said, you know, it does SSL encryption, DLP, and you know, all that sort of stuff. That where if my CEO is having a problem at home, it's working out whether the kids are sucking up the bandwidth using Xbox, or is it the D365 application, and whether she is connecting securely. So we can do that because Enablers is the managed service provider, and they're providing us with security and network at the service layer. So that I don't have to worry about, because I can just pick up the phone and say, can you give me the stats for my next board report? And it comes to my email.
So great for IT, from what I hear. In terms of the business, how would you say they're seeing it? Have they benefits for the organisation itself?
So you've got to understand that Canon Medical Systems is in the medical space, and we not only deal with my own end users, but we've got customers. We've got customers like SA Health. We've got customers like Sonic Healthcare and QMed. And, you know, some of these healthcare and medical clients that we work with, like pathologists and radiologists, because we sell CT scanners and ultrasounds, and, you know, we need to have the customer's data at top of our mind.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just about enabling my staff, but also enabling the customers that we have to be able to ensure that they're dealing with a company that has security on the top of the mind.
Yeah.
And providing you know, that performance and that bandwidth, so that we can not only make my staff internally more efficient and productive, but we also deliver education to our customers.
Yeah.
And in the new world, there's no face-to-face anymore, right? So we have to be able to deliver virtual sessions to our customers, like radiologists and pathologists, train them on our machines, or big iron as we call it, on our equipment. And we have to do this remotely. So putting in the Prisma access, ensuring that we're connecting securely, but also then layering SD-WAN on top of that, so that we have a local breakout to the internet, but it's securely done using Prisma technology.
Good stuff. Okay, sounds great. So obviously it does sound operationally that it ticks a lot of the boxes, and it gave you a lot more than you previously had. If you were going to give just a high-level comment around, how did it look commercially, just from where you were?
Look, with any solution, you've got to do a return on investment, and having an old MPLS style network where everything was going back into the data center and pumped out through a central Cisco ASA firewall, out through a 20 meg connection, and then all of a sudden having 100-fold increase in your bandwidth and performance by putting in Prisma access and directly connecting to the Prisma nodes on the Google platform, having 10-second SLAs to your SaaS applications, like 10 milliseconds, like 10 milliseconds to your SaaS-based application like D365 and Salesforce.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It's a no-brainer. I mean, the cost is a little bit higher, but in comparison, MPLS is an old technology that was probably viable pre-COVID.
Yeah.
But in this new world where we are working from anywhere, anytime, any place, we need to ensure that security is on top of our mind, and we need to deliver a seamless solution to our end users.
Yeah. No.
So yes, it's a bit more, but the return on investment in terms of productivity and efficiency and ease of use, just outweighs.
Cool. So I guess this is nearly wrapping up, but would you recommend Prisma and SASE? And can you just probably, just to round it out, just explain high level why?
Yes, I definitely, say that Prisma is the way to go in this new world, because it enables you to do so much more. So my strategy now is rolling out SD-WAN across our branches. So we've got branches in every single state, including New Zealand, and ensuring that we have a breakout to the internet at a low cost, very high speed, but they can also connect to all our applications in a secure way. The next thing on the horizon for us is working with enablers on our Teams integration. So we are actually upgrading our Office 365 using the MS 365 E5 licensing, which will enable us to do voice and collaboration and audio conferencing right into Teams, so that we don't even have any handsets on the desk, because you can't pick up your handset and take it home, right? So it's all going to be just soft phones integrated with Teams and SD-WAN all the way.
Wonderful. Right, brilliant. Thanks, Tony. I think, just hopefully that gives everyone a bit of a snapshot on where where this whole case study came from. And I hope it's been insightful. I think it would have been very insightful for a few of the attendees today. So thanks very much for that. If I can, maybe just to keep it an open session, if I could hand over to Virgo, who's joined us in the room, please. And he'll just sort of host a bit of a Q&A. I guess the beauty of this hopefully is that you can ask any question of anyone. So again, Vineet, thanks very much for that, and I'll hand over to Virgo.